What do you say? What do you know, stupids? Hope everyone had a great weekend. What do you say? What do you know? We are back for episode 15, um, college football episode. I know you all are asking where my NFL stuff is. College football's in the prime right now. We got rivalry weekend coming up. We've got conference championship games to get settled, determining where's going where. So if you want NFL stuff, tune in somewhere else. No, I'm just kidding. Stay around because we'll get NFL. We got some good games that happened today. Earlier today, we got Minnesota Denver going on right now in the background. So let's go ahead and just get right into this. We're going to go right into it. So football games were settled this weekend. I'm trying to, sorry, first time working a microphone. Normally it's not this far off, but it's getting yanked. There we go. That should work. I don't like that it keeps getting twisted. All right, rock and roll. Georgia dominated Tennessee, 38-10. Georgia didn't have a slip in their game, so they were looked good. Didn't have any issues there. They looked good. No hiccup. They're playing Bama. First, they play Georgia Tech on Saturday, which good luck beating them, losing to them. So they should cover that game, and then they're going to play Bama. So that's SEC championship game. Beck had 3 touchdowns, looked good. Ohio State dominated Minnesota 37-3. Henderson went off for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns. Harrison was very quiet on his senior night. He's not coming back next year, so he'll be in the NFL. But very average, very, very minimal usage going on. So that's where kind of that is. Next up is the game. It is Michigan week. We are taking the M off everything. We are not putting the M on anything. Let it ride. We're going to have some fun. It's a big week. Always look forward to it. Michigan survived against Maryland. Chrome had 2 touchdowns. McCarthy struggled. I think if we make McCarthy have to throw the ball and be an actual quarterback, they're going to struggle. We shut down the run. We'll see what they can do about all that. But I like our chances. I think it's going to be a good game. We just got to, our defense has got to be the ones that's getting us there, and our offense can do their thing. So we'll go ahead and preview some of those games here later on. FSU dominated North Alabama, but unfortunately they lost Jordan Travis. Gruesome leg injury. I don't have any video of it. I wouldn't show if I did. But his leg pretty much snapped in half. So prayers to him. And FSU, and they have a tough road game in Gainesville against Florida. Florida's trying to get bowl eligible, and they're trying to spoil their college football playoff hopes. With this being said, I think Louisville will beat them in the ACC championship game. I think the backup, it's going to be too big of a stage, and I think Louisville takes advantage of that, and they kind of do their thing. So I think Louisville beats them in the ACC championship game, and if they get to the playoffs, I don't think they're going to win their first matchup against either Georgia or Ohio State. So yeah, I think FSU's season is done with that injury. It's a shame. They had a really good year, so we'll kind of see how they look. But yeah, it just didn't look good for FSU's Jordan Travis. Washington survived a tough road game against Oregon State, pretty much nullified Oregon State's chances. Washington wins out and Oregon wins out, they're in. So Oregon State still has a chance to play spoiler. They're not eliminated if they beat Oregon. I think they have a pretty good shot. I think they might even play in if they beat Oregon. So Oregon State still has a chance. Washington clinched, so they are the one team in that Pac-12 title game. The other team will be determined. If Oregon wins, I believe they're in, no questions asked. And I think if Oregon State wins, we can kind of see what kind of information we get and see if Oregon State gets in with that win or not. It was a rainy game, rainy weather. Penix didn't throw the ball very well in the rain. You expect that. He had 2 touchdowns, 160 yards, so it wasn't horrible. Looked good. Got what he needed done. Bama dominated Chattanooga 6-10. We had whoop-de-doo Basil. They go on the road against Auburn. Do I have Auburn winning that game? No. Do I have Auburn having a chance? No. I think Bama's looked past them and they're ready to play SEC championship game, which is going to be the best one of the weekend. Of the conference championship games. The game this Saturday between Michigan and Ohio State is going to be pretty good, but conference championship games, that's probably the best one. Now that Jordan Travis is done, the ACC game's not very energetic either. Louisville survives a tough road matchup at Miami, and they also clinched the ACC, as I said earlier. So Louisville's going to get the chance to play for an ACC championship game after the first year with the new head coach. So I like them. I think they're a great team. I might lay some bets on them. Their ability to gamble on that game is not a lot anymore with the injury, so the odds are going to extremely change. I still would have put Louisville as like an upset bid, so this one now is going to be Louisville as a favorite with the backup quarterback. The bad Plummer for Louisville had 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, so didn't look too bad, and I wonder if he can brighten the big stage and see what he can do there. So Penn State beat Rutgers 27-6. Ole Miss beat UL Monroe 35-3. Oklahoma holds on against BYU, forced 3 turnovers. Oklahoma will play TCU for their final game. Oklahoma can play in the Big 12 championship game. They need a lot of help. They need losses from KSU and Oklahoma State. And if Oklahoma State wins, they're in. So Oklahoma State shouldn't blunder their chances to play in it. So I think Oklahoma State will get it done. I think Oklahoma needs too many losses, too many big losses. So I think it's going to be the Cowboys, not the Sooners. Tulane beat FAU 24-8. Arizona dominated Utah 42-18. Cam Rising's coming back for his 7th year, he announced earlier. So he will be back at Utah for his final year and his 7th year in total. They were up 28-0 early and never fell apart. Arizona can play in the title game with a win and an Oregon loss at Oregon State. So that's your answer to your question. So Oregon State's not able to get in. So Oregon State will not get in and play in the Pac-12 championship game. If Arizona wins and Oregon loses, Arizona's in. So it's either Arizona or Oregon. I want to see Oregon. I want to see Oregon and Washington battle it out again. I really don't want to see Arizona in there get slacked by Washington. So Iowa holds on to beat Illinois 15-13. We'll play the winner of Michigan-Ohio State, Big Ten title game. Iowa's a top 15 team. That's going to be a good Big Ten championship game, but I think whoever wins that game this weekend will dominate Iowa. So not bad there. Some normal stuff going on with the college football world. We're kind of getting to the last nitty-gritty of games. This weekend was kind of cupcakey, so no real big news. We had some guys signed. We had some injuries. So Clemson got a big win against UNC, 31-20, to knock off UNC's chances, so they will not be able to play in the ACC championship game. Oregon dominates ASU. Like I said earlier, if they win, they're in. So look out for Oregon. Like I said, that's going to be probably, other than the SEC, the Pac-12 championship game is going to be just as good. I'd probably watch that too. I think that's going to be a Friday night one. I don't think they play Saturday night. I could be wrong. I think they might be the last Saturday night one, right after the start of the Big Ten Big Ten championship kickoff game. So Oklahoma State beat Houston 43-30. And if they beat BYU, they're in. So they're in. A lot of these teams are when they're in. Everything's pretty much ironed out, but you still have some games, some rivalry games. So just keep an eye on things. You're going to have some college football games this weekend that determine teams are bowl eligible, eliminating teams from the ability to play in their conference championship game, and getting teams in. So this weekend we still got a lot of answers and getting questions to get answered. So tune in, pay attention, check all the social media. We'll give you all the updates, let you know what's going on. KSU had a big road game against falling Kansas. Came back from an 11-point deficit. Kansas has lost 4 of the last 5 ever since losing to Louisville. They've kind of, or after beating Oklahoma, they kind of fell apart and kind of just lost their way, going from like 16-ish ranked to unranked. So Mizzou kicks a game-winning field goal against UF. To hurt UF's chances at a bowl game. UF beats FSU. They get a bowl game. They'll have their 6th win. They'll get in at a bowl game. And I'm hoping it's the one at Ray J the Friday before Christmas, because it's always ACC, SEC, and it'd be really cool to go see Florida play. Get some gear, get some stuff. Texas beat Iowa State 26-16 to stay atop the Big 12 standings. They win this weekend. They're in. They beat Texas Tech. So you got the Texas rivalry game Friday night. So Texas wins. They're in. LSU dominated Georgia State 56-14. Nothing new there with Georgia. Some scores from the FBS. We want to go ahead and not forget about them. We want to get involved with them. Keep everyone updated on that. We got some MAC fans and we got some smaller schools, so let's give them a shout out. Washington dominated Colorado 56-14. I'm gonna keep riding that. Colorado's cheek sponge trash. They're getting smack around a little bit. They were down 42-7.5. I was watching that game at a restaurant and they were getting shellacked. No bowl game for Colorado, so they don't give it to 4-7. So prime time. Sorry, my boy, you are not getting a bowl game T-shirt. App State wins thriller against James Madison. James Madison was now undefeated. They weren't getting a bowl game anyway. They can play in their conference game, but they're not getting a bowl game, and they're not getting playoff stuff. So not big enough conference, not big enough school. They lost 26-23. Game day had, I believe, don't correct me if I'm wrong, but 26,000 at game day. It was a vibe at game day. I think it was probably one of the better ones they've had. JMU fans came out swinging, and it looked good, and it was great for the community. JMU's area, it looked great for college football when game day comes out and you all come out full force, and they were really anti-NCAA. The signs they made, they were hammering the NCAA. So they took one out of our book and hammered it, and they hammered the NCAA. Lost in overtime. App State got a game-winning touchdown. WVU beat Cincy 42-21 for their 7th win of the year. So they started off rocky, and they put together some good wins. So they're going to get a bowl game. So congrats to them. 3-8 Virginia. Spoiler Virginia. Not even Virginia Cavaliers. Virginia Spoilers beat Duke 30-27. Duke has kept falling 2 in a row. Lost 4 out of the last 5. They're struggling. They're going to go into the offseason with a lot of questions, figure out what they need to do. Bowl eligible, so we'll see what they do in their bowl games. So keep an eye out for them. UCLA beat UC at USC 38-20. USC was handed their 5th loss. Who would have thought? The people at the Bubcast and all my fans out there would have thought that we were talking 7-5 USC versus top 4 USC, playoff USC, Caleb Williams for Heisman USC. I think all 3 of those topics went complete opposite and went in the other complete direction. And we just, we're talking about them being a 500 football team. So Caleb Williams is going to go to the NFL. USC is going to be rebuilding. We won't be talking about USC for a while. So Caleb Williams probably will not play in their bowl game. So whatever home game or whatever game they have left, that'll probably be his last one. And I'm pretty sure the USC game or the last game against USC, they had their last home game this last Saturday. So I think that was the last time he played at the Coliseum. So looking forward to see what he does in the NFL. He had 384 yards, a touchdown, and interception. Not bad at all. UCLA gets the bragging rights, and UCLA's Ethan Garbers had a better game than Caleb Williams. Probably a better player, Caleb Williams is, but he had a better game. So kudos to them. TCU beat Baylor 42-17. UNLV beat Air Force. We'll come back to that in a minute because that's going to be really good for the their conference. New Mexico State beat Auburn 31-10. Texas Tech beat UCF 24-23. After UCF's great win, they go ahead and go back to UCF stuff. South Carolina beat Kentucky, so Kentucky is really falling. I didn't think they were going to be this falling, but yeah. Wisconsin beat Nebraska 24-17 in overtime. Give themselves a little bit of a jerk going into the bowl game. They're both 6 wins, so both of those teams are going to get in the they're going to get a lot of attention. Both those teams are going on for their 6th win, so they're going to get bowl eligible, and they've played some good games in the Big Ten, so they'll be a good team to play against in a bowl game. So that's kind of the run through of the games. Like I said, it was very cupcakey. We had some news and updates and everything else. We gave you all that. So now we're going to kind of go into the conference championship games. I'm kind of let you know who's where, what scenarios we have. We'll preview a little bit of them. I'm going to get more of an episode for that later on in the following weeks after we finish out the regular season. So I'll kind of just go through the main ones. The top. I think there's 8 major conferences. We'll go ahead and go through all of those. A lot of them are to be determined, but we'll go through them. I'll give you all my updates and kind of think where we are, and we'll kind of go from there. So we've got the Conference USA Championship. That one's set. New Mexico State and Liberty. Liberty's got 1 loss. New Mexico, I believe, has 2. New Mexico State, excuse me. Watch that one. That's probably going to be a Friday 3 o'clock one. That's not going to be a primetime one. The MAC, Miami of Ohio versus Toledo, 2-loss team versus a 1-loss team. Looking forward to that game. I'm definitely going to tune in. As everyone knows, I'm a MAC conference guy. I know Ohio State plays in the Big Ten, but I'm a Northern Ohio guy, so I'll represent the MAC. SEC, probably the best one, right below or right ahead of the Pac-12 championship game. We got Georgia-Bama. If you're just now realizing this, you're living under a rock. ACC is Louisville, FSU. This was going to be a good one with with Jordan Travis going down. I'm not sure how big of impact this game will have and how good this game will be. Big 12 to be determined. Texas, Oklahoma State, they both went out. They're in. Mountain West is to be determined. This is the most unorganized one. You got UNLV with a win against San Jose State. They are in. And you have the winner of Air Force Boise State getting in. So if Air Force wins, they're in. If Boise State wins, they're in. I would love to see Air Force play UNLV. I think that would be a great game. San Jose State has lost to both Air Force and Boise State, so they don't have anything but play spoiler for UNLV and potentially ruin UNLV's perfect record in conference. So UNLV doesn't have anything to really lose, but the winner of Air Force Boise State. In the Sun Belt, Troy versus to be determined. JMU wins, they're in. If they would have won last week, they would have been in. So JMU wins in, they're in, and I think JMU takes that game wholeheartedly against Troy. Big Ten, like I said, it's Iowa versus to be determined, Michigan, Ohio State. So we've got some, those are the conference championship games. I'm going to get an episode myself and preview all those and talk about each one once the teams are set, go over time, date, location. Then once we get into bowl games, that's going to be my favorite time of year. Go ahead and do one of these right here. We're going to get into it, go over all the bowl games. I'm going to ask people's predictions. I'm going to get into a bowl game predictor playoff, a bowl game predictor pick'ems with my family and see who predicts all the bowl games. We're going to go to bowl games. I might possibly shoot some stuff on TikTok at those bowl games, so stay tuned. This is the best part of college football. We're getting to the nitty-gritty, the great content, so follow us on all the social media. You'll see all the updates, posts, gambles, bets. I'm probably going to do a parlay for each conference, and we'll see what we can do with that kind of conference championship game. Looking forward to that, so just keep an update on that. So that's kind of what our conference looks like. We're going to finish out with some big games coming up this weekend. So just all the way through FBS teams that need to get bowl eligible and top 25 teams that are playing for college football and a shot at the conference championship. So FSU's at UF. Great rivalry game. Looking forward to that. Washington State's at Washington. Looking forward to that. I know these games don't mean much on paper with teams having a couple wins, but it's a rivalry game. People like them. It's good to watch. UNC and NC State, internal state, divided house games. It's good to watch those. Ohio State at Michigan, the game. I will be shooting stuff all day for that event. It's going to be an all-day event here in the Creekis household. We're going to be getting up at 8 a.m., having a few soda pops. Wink, wink. Game day will be there. It's going to be a great environment and big noon kickoff from Fox. So let it ride. Strap in. It's going to get rowdy real quick. You can bet that. Oregon at Oregon State, tough rivalry game. Oregon State play spoiler for Oregon, make it hard for them. Looking forward to that. Kentucky Louisville, that blue blood rivalry, basketball rivalry. Bama at Auburn. We've had some crazy memories of that game at the Iron Bowl, so we'll see what kind of memories this one brings. I'm looking forward to that. Auburn can play conference playoff spoiler. If Auburn beats Bama, there's no chance they get in, even if they beat Georgia with 2 losses, in my opinion, with so many undefeateds and potentially better one-loss teams. But if Bama wins the SEC championship game with 2 losses, we can discuss that on a later day, and that'd be great to discuss. Arizona State, Notre Dame at Stanford, classic rivalry. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, BYU at Oklahoma State. BYU bowl game eligible if they win, and they could play spoilers, so keep an eye out for that. Like I said, best time of year. Look out for everything we're talking about. We're going to go over all kinds of cool things. We got Ohio at Akron. We got UTSA at Tulane. Winner is the American Conference Championship game. So if Texas, San Antonio, or Tulane wins, whatever one wins, they're in the American Conference Championship game. Navy at SMU. SMU wins, they are in. So SMU wins, they're in, and they'll play the winner of UTSA Tulane. Texas A&M at LSU. Great SEC rivalry, SEC conference game to end the year on. Great game to watch. LSU. It's gonna be in the Bayou. Wake Forest at Syracuse. Bowl eligible for Syracuse. Syracuse has let go of their coach. We'll kind of see what they're going into next year with a interim head coach. Those always interim head coach energies. They always play for somebody. We'll see what they kind of do with that game. They're going into a new year next year with a new coach and everything else. So we'll kind of see what goes on from there. Georgia State at ODU. ODU wins, gets a bowl game. So like I said, a lot of these games I'm talking about, you're like, why are we talking about them? Well, a lot of these teams can get bowl eligibility with a win, with their 6th win. That big 6th win is great to get them into bowl eligibility. So we'll see from there. Wisconsin at Minnesota, Big Ten game, big rivalry game. Right after Thanksgiving, going to be cold, snowy. Tune into that. 6-5 Maryland, 6-5 Rutgers. Both those teams are probably going to get a bowl. Let's see if Maryland get a 7th win of the year. That'd be huge for them. I thought they were going to beat Michigan. Looks like they were going to win. They had played them tough. VT at Virginia. Classic game in state of Virginia. Love that rivalry. Arkansas at Marshall. Marshall gets a bowl eligibility if they win. Clemson at South Carolina. That real tough South Carolina in-state rivalry. I've been a part of that game, watching Clemson fans be in the same house as South Carolina fans, and it's classic. It's a great game to watch, so I'm looking forward to that. Charlotte at USF. USF, come on guys, get a bowl game. Get your 6th win. Get a bowl game. Colorado State at Hawaii, bowl eligible for Colorado State. So let's see. Let's get them getting. I always like to see teams get in with a win at the end of the year, get their last game, they get their sixth win, they get in. Cal, UCLA. So that's a lot of stuff we went through. It's a lot of information. Check in with our social media. We're going to go through everything, give you scenarios, give you updates on college football playoff rankings that come out tomorrow. I'm going to get on Twitter and discuss that. We'll also go over all the conference championship games, location, time to be determined. I'm going to lay a parlay for that I'll let you all get good odds on and see if you can win some money. So just tune in. We've got a lot of new information coming around. It's going to be very exciting. I'm going to have an NFL Thanksgiving episode coming out probably Thanksgiving morning. I'll shoot it Wednesday night and get it out as soon as I wake up Thanksgiving morning. So tune into that while you're eating food, cooking food, waiting for me to hear you out. I might do a little Thanksgiving Bubcast episode. Try some new content. Going over all kinds of news and updates. Like I said, we're gonna get some NFL updates for the Thanksgiving games. I'm gonna get some NFL updates for Tuesday's episode. So tune in this Tuesday coming up for the NFL update from these past couple of weeks. These games that all happened today, the game that's going on right now, and Monday night. So tune in. Great episode, nice and quick. We got through some cupcake stuff, went over some college football stuff, rankings, playoffs, spoilers, bowl eligibility, college conference football, conference championship games to be determined, who's playing who, rivalry week, what's going on. So my energy's there. It's the week. We are going to dominate and do what we need to do. I'm not going to predict a winner. Just tune in to TikTok and all my other social media because I'll be tuning in on that social media for that game this Saturday. Like I said, soda pops, 8 in the morning. Strap in. Let's ride. Take away the yum from everything you got going on for the rest of the week. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great week. If I don't see you or you don't watch something before Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving here at the Bubcast. Night.